First off, we have Yakuza. Let's start in Japan, home of the Yakuza, one of the oldest and most organized criminal groups on Earth. Covered in full-body tattoos and dressed in sharp suits, they follow strict codes of honor, and yet, they've done disaster relief, handing out food after tsunamis, sometimes faster than the government. Their roots go back to the 1600s, and today they control gambling, construction, and sometimes even politics. But break their rules, and the punishment is brutal. It's called yubitsume, cutting off part of your own finger to show apology, usually the pinky. It's both painful and symbolic, and many older members are missing several digits. So what are they really? Ruthless criminals, or samurai relics trying to survive in the modern world. Next, we have Bloods and Crips. In the streets of Los Angeles, two of America's most infamous gangs were born, the Bloods and the Crips. Starting in the late 1960s and early 1970s, these groups originally formed to protect black communities from violence and discrimination. But over time, rivalry and turf wars turned deadly. The Bloods are known for their signature red colors, the Crips for blue, symbols that sparked decades of conflict. Graffiti, hand signs, and music helped spread their influence across the U.S. and even the world. What started as protection turned into a violent struggle for power, leaving a legacy that still impacts communities today. Next, we have MS-13. From the streets of Los Angeles to the barrios of El Salvador, MS-13, or Mara Salvatrucha, is one of the most feared gangs worldwide. It started in the 1980s by Salvadoran immigrants trying to protect themselves, but quickly grew into a violent criminal empire. Known for brutal tactics, machete attacks, tattoos covering their faces and bodies, and ruthless loyalty, their motto is chilling: kill, rape, control. Governments label them terrorists, but for many youths caught in violence and poverty, MS-13 became a twisted family and source of power. Their reach is global, their violence relentless, and their name feared in countless countries. Next, we have Latin Kings. Meet the Latin Kings, one of the largest Hispanic street gangs in the Americas. Founded in Chicago in the 1950s, they built their organization like a monarchy, complete with kings, queens, and strict codes. Their colors, gold and black, symbolize power and loyalty. With deep rituals and rules, they control neighborhoods, run illegal businesses, and have a wide influence stretching from the U.S. to Latin America. More than just a gang, they see themselves as a movement, blending culture, politics, and crime into one powerful force. Next, we have biker gangs. Leather jackets, roaring engines, skull patches. Welcome to the world of biker gangs, especially the infamous Hells Angels. Formed in California after World War II, they began as rebellious veterans seeking freedom, but quickly became a global brotherhood with strict rules and violent reputations. Behind the motorcycle club image lies a darker reality: drug smuggling, weapons trafficking, and extortion. Their structure is tight, and new members must earn their colors through loyalty and often violence. Cross them? You're done. Their motto? When we do right, nobody remembers. When we do wrong, nobody forgets. Next, we have numbers gangs. Inside South Africa's prisons, three powerful gangs rule the underground: the 20s, 27s, and 28s, known collectively as the numbers gangs. Each number represents a different role: theft and smuggling, enforcing rules, and control over sexual dominance. These gangs have their own strict codes, language, and rituals passed down from inmate to inmate. They operate like mini kingdoms within prison walls, with hierarchies and punishments that can be deadly. Next, we have Triads, Chinese underworld. Across China, Hong Kong, and Chinatowns worldwide, the Triads have operated for centuries as secretive and powerful criminal organizations. Their origins trace back hundreds of years to anti-imperial rebel groups, evolving into highly structured gangs involved in gambling, smuggling, and counterfeiting. Despite law enforcement efforts, the Triads remain deeply embedded in many societies. Next, we have Russian Mafia. After the Soviet Union fell, a powerful and secretive group emerged from the chaos: the Russian Mafia, also known as Vory v. Zakone or thieves in law. They live by a strict code of loyalty and respect, ruling the criminal underworld with an iron fist. Unlike flashy gangs, the Russian Mafia operates quietly but ruthlessly. They control large parts of Russia's economy, infiltrate businesses, and have spread their influence worldwide. Next, we have Mafia. When you hear Mafia, you might think of the movies, but Italy's organized crime is much bigger and more complex. There's the Cosa Nostra in Sicily, the 'Ndrangheta in Calabria, and the Camorra in Naples, each with its own power and brutality. For over a century, they've run smuggling, extortion, and bribery, infiltrating politics, banks, and even soccer clubs. Their influence is deep, secretive, and deadly. Next, we have Mexican cartels. The Mexican cartels aren't just gangs, they're massive criminal empires. Groups like Sinaloa, Jalisco New Generation, and Los Zetas control drug trafficking, weapons smuggling, and human trafficking on a global scale. They operate like armies, with soldiers, tanks, and even drones. El Chapo might be behind bars, but the business keeps booming. Thanks for watching, and if you want more dark stories like this, hit that subscribe button. Until next time, stay curious and stay sharp.